Samoa versus Tonga, the final game for both of these sides of the Pacific Nations Cup before we have those pre-Rugby World Cup games. In this video, we will be looking through at the previous fixtures, the key players, and then also a prediction at the end to let you know exactly who we think will be winning it. So for Samoa, their first game of the Pacific Nations Cup, it was up against Japan, being played in Japan, away from home. And they managed to get themselves the victory, 24 points to 22. It was always going to be a tough game. Japan are known for bringing that passion, bringing the physicality. But Samoa, they were just able to hang on. Now in that game, they did have a lot of handling errors, which they slowly have taken out of their game. As we did see in their most previous fixture where they went head-to-head with Fiji, they did lose that game 33 points to 19, which now means that that game between Fiji and Japan will decide the Pacific Nations Cup. But this game up against the Tongans, Samoa, they will feel confident, seeing as it is going to be a home game. Then for Tonga, their previous games of the Pacific Nations Cup, opening round, they did take on Fiji. They did lose that game 36 points to 20, although the year prior, the score was a lot more in favour of the Flying Fijians. So I have to say Tonga over the last maybe 12 to 24 months, they have actually found a lot of progression in the way that they've been playing. They've been slowly improving, and as they build towards that World Cup in the future, I believe we will continue to see the progress being made. Their second game was up against Japan. Very valiant effort, 21 points to 16 loss. So the thing is, this Pacific Nations Cup, both of these two sides had a tough loss to Fiji by around that 15 points, and then both having very close games with Japan. The only difference that Samoa were able to get themselves the victory in their one. Now looking through at the key players for these two sides, I see that Charlie Faumuina, rather than coming off the bench at number 18, will be playing at number 1 in this game for the Samoans. Now that could be a very awesome battle to watch, him versus Ben Funa. That's a lot of power coming together at scrum time. And both of these sides, set piece wise, will be wanting to be close to that 100% in the back line. We've seen some decent work from Duncan Paiaua over the last couple games for the Samoans, and then also we get to see for the first time this year Tim Nanai Williams at number 15, so I feel he will also be one to watch out for in this game for the Samoans. For Tonga, Via Fafita number 8, he did unfortunately end up with a little bit of an injury in that first game up against the Fijians. He's now back, he'll bring that physicality, he's a jumping option in the line out, and also has a very strong offload game. In the back line, William Havili at 10. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Tasman Marco's representative also plays for Moana Pacifica, which is kind of cool because he is going to be going head-to-head with quite a few of his teammates in this Manu Samoan side. And then another key player to watch out for, I would say, has to be Charles Piutau. We didn't see him nearly enough in that first game up against the Fijians. In that game up against Japan, still having those moments. But in this game, if he is the one player for Tonga that we see a whole heap of, could mean that they're scoring a lot of points on the board. But now we are up to that stage of trying to give a prediction for this contest. Now looking at the TAB odds, Samoa come in as favourites, $1.47 compared to Tonga's $2.80, which is actually the biggest split of the Pacific Nations Cup for this round. Fiji and Japan evened out just that little bit more. So Samoa with the home field advantage. Seems like the TAB feel that they will be able to get over the line. The players that they've selected here, some very dangerous ones, and also off the bench, having Malani Matavao, Christian Leliafano for that experience, and Norea Famai as well as another very viable option. For the Tongans, even though they're $2.80 underdogs, I well and truly could see them winning this contest if they're able to get it right in the 4-pack. Their rolling maul up against Fiji was phenomenal, and that is something that they'll look to use here up against Samoa. But if I had to predict who will walk away with the victory in this game, I have to go with Samoa. Yes, they didn't get the win over Fiji last week, but they had some good moments in that game, and I believe with a couple changes that they've made, also Michael Alatoa coming back at number 3, so him and Charlie Faumuina, it's going to be a hard scrum to go up against for Sajfred Fisiahoi and Ben Funa. I will say that Samoa get themselves the win, 32 points to 18. So a 14-point split. I hope it's a lot closer than that. I just get that feeling though that Samoa, they'll be a bit frustrated after starting the Pacific Nations Cup out with a win. then having the loss in the second round to the Fijians, and Samoa can still theoretically finish second in the Pacific Nations Cup table, so that is exactly what they will be looking for. But thank you all very much for tuning into this very short preview of the match that has taken place. It will be a 3 p.m. local time kickoff, which is 2 p.m. for us here in New Zealand, being played at Apia Park in Samoa. It sadly does overlap with the game between New Zealand and Australia, but we will be doing the commentary for that Bledisloe test while also giving updates on what is happening in this Pacific Nations Cup game. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Do let me know who you think will win this game in the comments down below, and I will see you all for the next one.